The other day, I got very creative. I went out into a public space and I did a lot of writing. It was a lot of fun. Um, the challenging thing here is to sit with perfectionism. This is something that I guess I would say is part of my, I like to call it traumatic makeup. I recently learned that this has to do with splitting, all or nothing. I can't put something out unless it is perfect. Which is funny because something is never going to be perfect, right? It's just a matter of it being good enough. And I'm really learning to just allow things to be good enough. And not only that, but also to just like, you know, I guess showcase things even when they're not finished, right? But I don't go out into public and be creative often. I don't. And it's so interesting because doing this really just kind of like opened me up to a new way of going about doing things. It was a really fun and genuine experience for me. I really had a lot of just I think it's like different ways of thinking about things. Um and it was really cool. I really enjoy the writing process. I enjoy writing in general. Um just as it is on a daily basis, I keep a daily journal. I think that it's very important. Um and with that, I just want to get better and better at writing. So, just trying to approach it from different ways, trying to, you know, just explore my capacity to write, to be a writer, regardless of what it turns out to be. If it's just exploring my thoughts and emotions in a journal, in a daily journal that I keep, then that's all that it has to be. If it becomes anything other than that, one of the coolest things that I've ever started doing in life, literally, is writing, just journaling. There's so much clarity of mind. There's so much sense of understanding, of direction, when you get all of your thoughts and emotions out on paper. It's like you freeze it in time. And I have been journaling literally on a daily basis. Like, I kid you not, every single day. Um, I think I started in 2018. And it's just been an incredibly rewarding process. It is very rewarding to get your thoughts and emotions out on paper because oftentimes in my own personal life, I've really struggled to just like gain clarity because it can be really easy to just get lost in the mind, in my experiences at least. Um, but to be able to just like it doesn't matter how you do it. Doesn't matter if you take your time. Doesn't matter if you like metaphorically vomit it out, right, and just like throw it all out on paper. It's funny actually because this reminds me of all of my English classes that I took in middle school, high school, college. Um, I would argue that I've always been good at writing, and it's interesting too because I know that in school they teach different kinds of like processes for writing. But quite honestly, oftentimes the way that it happens for me is I just go for a walk and it comes out. I just go for I again I don't do a whole lot of like going out into like a restaurant or like a bar or like a cafe and doing it, but it just comes out. And that's what I love about the flow, the process. It's so cool. Um, I went to I went to a speakeasy bar for the first time in my life, the other day, and it was awesome. Like, I got a really good drink. I don't drink often. Um, but I sat there in this beautifully dressed ambience. I don't even know if that's a word, but I know that ambience is a word. Just a really beautifully dressed space, right? Just really good energy, and I just wrote. I just wrote, and it just felt so good to be creative. I want to talk a little bit more about perfectionism because I think that there's a lot to say about that. For a majority of my life, I've been very much paralyzed by perfectionism. It has stopped me from starting. It has stopped me from finishing. Um, it's that voice in my head that whenever I am being creative, it tells me to stop because whatever it is that I'm doing needs to be perfect, even though perfection is not even real. And it just really it really hinders the process, the journey, the experience. And I'm doing the best that I can to just allow myself to just realize that there really is no such thing as perfection. It's just a construct, and just allowing myself to flow, and that's it. And not trying to make things perfect because they don't need to be, because perfection is just an idea, it's just a construct. So the more I kind of like integrate this and really realize what it is, just allow, it to just kind of like melt away and everything. It's a very rewarding experience because I kid you not, this is literally something that I've dealt with my entire life, and just learning recently that it has to do with splitting, seeing things in black or white, all or nothing. It has to be perfect, or else it cannot be put out. Well, that's bad news because perfection is not real. Perfection does not exist. Something cannot be perfect. It can only be what it is, right? So it's really liberating to be in this space of awareness, and also like exciting to like see that I get to move forward in a really clear-minded way, in a really productive way, and just write. Let me say something else too, because I think that it's also interesting to say this. I really appreciate evolution itself. I appreciate change. I appreciate just creativity. I am looking at my writing. I'm looking at my writing styles. I'm looking at how things are evolving for me. I'm looking at the way that things are evolving in society. I'm looking at the changes and evolutions that are happening. And I'm thinking that there really is no like right or wrong way to go about like creating something, right? You look at structures and everything. You look at anything, and when you realize that everything changes, and that it's just kind of like, I don't know, it has its foundation in evolution. Like everything is going to change. The way that people write is going to change. The way that people create anything is going to change. And just like realizing that is really liberating because it allows me personally to realize that I can create anything however I want to. I think that this is something that kind of upsets a lot of people, that things change, that life changes. But I think that it's really cool because it offers opportunity for difference. And I think that difference is important in life. I think that difference is very important in life. And when you realize that what it actually means and that it actually leads to potential for different ways of doing things, there's nothing but opportunity and potential. And when creativity and creation is the foundation, you can do anything.